Ayo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Potter with Grandmaster Glass YouTube channel. Thanks for coming back, guys. So on this one, what am I gonna be talking about? New setup, new stream, couple different things. Looks good in the background, right? So how do I want to start this episode? I have had this idea for a while, and I've been reformulating how I want to go about this. Uh, this to me is going to be more of a way to archive a lot of art that I feel that might get missed or does get missed on a weekly basis. There's so much art that gets made, and I feel the glass community largely kind of communicates on Instagram. There are private Facebook groups, and there are a couple different third-party apps, but as a whole, Instagram is kind of where glassblowers have found their home, which is amazing. Everybody communicates, the giveaways, collabs, being able to tag and communicate. But I also feel because of the algorithm that Instagram runs on, it's not chronological. You miss a lot. So, like, I've even seen pieces get sold on somebody's story and never get posted to the main page. And to me, that you lose that. Somebody doesn't get to enjoy that. Even if they didn't spend the money, they don't get to enjoy or congratulate you on the art. And, you know, not every artist needs that, which is totally fine. But for me, I'm always seeing things, and I like to talk about it. So I've kind of come up with this idea that it's a good opportunity that I can kind of archive these pieces of artwork that you as a viewer might miss on a daily, weekly basis because you might not follow strictly only glass artists, and you might be doing 100 other things. You don't have time to scroll endlessly through Instagram or look up all your favorite glass artists. So as time has gone by, and there's so many great artists and just amazing pieces of work that are made daily that almost don't get the recognition that I feel they deserve. And I just think it's going to be a cool way to be able to show you guys what I feel from a glassblower's perspective, whether it's like style or technique or just the overall aesthetics. Just having a glassblower's perspective, I think, is pretty badass, and I hope you enjoy the series already, guys. And I've clipped a bunch of images from Instagram, and we're going to swap over. See that? And starting off this week's episode is Dimatrio Art. And I'm going to include all the Instagram names so you can go and look them up. But for her, absolutely nailing the sculptural work. The smaller, just as a rule of thumb, the smaller you get, the more difficult it becomes, because glass will cool down quicker. When it's small like that, you have less time for it to stay warm and work it, and you've got a smaller target to hit. Overall, these are absolutely amazing. Like, so sculpturally on point. The Piplup for me is my favorite. The small little blue guy. If you don't know Pokemon, this guy right there. And then the Dratini is a shiny, which is a super rare. And the Opal, the Heart Opal, is just like all of these little guys. The little inserts are super hot right now. Super all the rage. And these definitely don't fall short. So Dimatrio, I'm gonna include the Instagram. And just the little jar, it's like I almost missed the jar because I'm so in love and impressed with all the sculptural work. But yeah, that seems to be a small jar for all the little pearl inserts. But yeah, these are super cool, Dimatrio Art. So up next, what do we got rocking for us today? Vert Pod. Okay. So this guy, it's all non-functional. As far as like the Heady community goes that I've seen. He makes sculptural work again, and it's so realistic. Like, he does every time. He specializes in bugs and insects, and that seems to be his thing. And he never falls short on it. I mean, the attention to detail and the realism in his glass, it's like you almost forget that it is glass. Like, it's one of those like mesmerizing, magical feelings when you look at it. And there's moments where your mind lets you forget, like, oh, that's made out of glass. And I've got a video right here that I clipped as well, and it's right in the process of being made. And the way he's got the punty hooked up to one of the feet, you can kind of see the way he builds it, kind of gives that insight, and the torch behind him. And yeah, these are just so cool. We got another picture of another video. And what's giving that metallic shine almost is, I believe, is going to be dichro. And so just the application, the texturing, just everything about this insect. And I don't think it's a cockroach, but it's some type of beetle bug. And yeah, it's super cool. Vert Pod, make sure you go follow all of these artists. If you've never heard of them, make sure you drop them a follow on Instagram for sure. And anybody, I will say that you want me to feature in a video, definitely leave it down in the comments. That's going to be something I'm going to be looking for from you guys, is something that you want me to cover, artists that you really like, that you want to hear me talk about or give my perspective. I'd love to hear it, and I'd love to cover it. So drop it down in the comment. That'll be the comment question of this video, is what artist do you want me to cover in these segments? And moving on, if I'm Spyler Woods, I believe I'm saying that correctly. And these, I know in the post they didn't say it, but I'm guessing they're kind of like terp caps, I guess, for terp slurpers. I'm not too sure. The biggest one on the right seems like it would be big enough for a terp slurper, and then the one on the left might be a valve kind of guard. But overall, these marbles that she made are so cool. She typically makes like full cats, so just the adaptation into a marble form with all the pattern work. I don't know cats like names, but that one reminds me of like a Siamese cat. I believe that's what that one is supposed to represent. And just kind of like the Bengal leopard look on both of those, I really like. And all of her photography, it's always like the gradient are like almost like gallery style art photography, and I really appreciate just that extra bit of effort to present the art. She goes full send every time she takes those photos. So if you don't know, now you know. Say it wrong every time. Spyler Woods. Yeah, that should be it. And moving on, next, one of my favorite from this whole segment, just something about the character, just the attitude that's applied in these guys are so funny. And these are for sure a terp slurper set. And so that's why I thought the cat sets might be terp slurper marbles. But yeah, this is Porter Glass, if I didn't mention it already. And he is so good with the sculptural work. These guys just give me a laugh. I mean, they totally hit me on point. And some type of like maybe candy cane pill, kind of just something to use as a pillar. But just the attitude on those two little guys, and the symmetry and the matching between the two. I always find that to be difficult to get two things to match in glass, because there's so many different variables. But he definitely nailed those two personalities very well. Probably play that one more time. And then yeah, just that OJ with a little bit of green on top. Sometimes I try to think, I'm like, what color is that? That one, I'm not super familiar with any orange colors. I've used like lava, I've used OJ, maybe orange crown. I've used a couple, but not a lot. And I'm guessing that one would be orange juice, OJ, just because of the shape that it's made out of. But who knows what actual color he made. And that's always like a fun little game I'll play. I'll try to guess what color that is. It's just something. I used to play that even before I blew glass. I would kind of just ask myself, what color is that? Just because I love to know what somebody used, and that way I can have a better conversation with somebody and I say, hey, what color is that? Oh, I really like that color. Do you have a piece like that? You know, just little things like that. Agua Azul, by the way, favorite color. That or Heavy Blue Leprechaun. And moving right along, next we've got Rude Boy. So longtime fan of this guy as well. He evolved from like chaos style tubes, like kind of who's a chaos tube maker that I know. Maybe Krunkelstein, that might be one, but he doesn't make only mini tubes. Anyways, so Rude Boy used to make mini tubes, and I really back in the day wanted one, and they were just out of my range. And by the time I was ready to actually get something Rude Boy related, and I've always still wanted a pendant, and I've never scooped one, he started making Chester Cheetah rigs. And ever since, he's just been rocking them. And he figured out this style, this tech. If you've seen Imperial Glass, who makes like the Sour Patch, this kind of falls in line with the same technique. just that fritted, kind of melted, softly melted in, not too hard melted. And you can kind of see in some of those connection points where you start to lose some of the like the crystally effect. But yeah, it just kind of reminds me of like geodes or something like that. But that texture on those Cheetos are so cool. And yeah, this is just kind of like a multi-layered pendant, and I decided to clip this because they're super unique. Like he'll make the dabbers out of the Cheetos, and then like a Chester Cheetah hand holding a Cheeto, but I've never seen like a clump of Cheetos together, so I feel like that was pretty special. So I just wanted to like mark that down from Rude Boy Glass. And up next, definitely one of the heaters of this episode, Nathan Belmont. Yeah, this guy is absolutely legendary with the sculpture work. He puts so much detail into his pieces, and it just doesn't stop. Like, he continues to innovate and apply it to new... Like, I almost feel like, to me, I'm limited in ideas, and this guy just continues to push these ideas for creatures and how he can apply the glass in different ways. And it really is inspiring. And even if this wasn't enough, he includes something on the back, so you'll have almost like a classic feel of like a vortex marble, but he puts it into the creature's head, or he'll do some type of pattern work on the backside. And that to me is just that going that extra mile to put something on that next level. It's just super, super cool. And let's see, I think this one has the video, and it'll go to the backside where he's included that like kind of like vortex optics into the head. Like, that's so cool to have that like extra forethought and step into carving it. And so all of that is in there while he's adding all of that texture and carving, and it's just like it's overwhelming, and it's so cool to even see on film, on a picture, because I'd love to hold that piece in my hand to see it and just to soak in all of that effort is so cool. The mouth, and almost how it looks wet with it like dripping from the lips, is just out of this world. Nathan Belmont, killing it. And up next, we're moving to some functionals. Got GPS with the Sherlock. Definitely going places with that thing. Not a whole lot to say. Just the simplicity and the execution of detail on his pieces are phenomenal. And just to see series and see all of his pieces next to each other, they definitely speak, and they definitely vibe together. So just seeing this Sherlock and just the he calls it something. I should have like a little I should have notes for some of these, because I clip all of these from Instagram, and I forget what he called, like shag head. You know, don't butcher me. I'm calling it wrong. I might put it on the video when I'm editing it. But, yeah, moving along with the GPS, though, he always comes up with great ideas. I like the ones he'll, like, maybe stick a tongue out. I saw one with a mushroom on it. I really, really like that one. And moving on, we've got, up next, Texas native, J-Mass. And this right here is so... It almost looks like a soap carving, right? Like, that's kind of how I feel about it. And when you turn it to the side, it's a Sherlock, so kind of going with that whole Sherlock theme. You can kind of see where the carb is off the side of his hat. And yeah, I mean, the texture, it almost looks wet, like freshly carved. And I'm guessing it's sandblasted. Up on the top part, it looks like for sure. Not for sure, but I'm thinking that looks sandblasted, just the whole textural feel. And then going into his whole sculpted face, definitely looks wet. I know it's not. So just somehow the way he achieved that technique and then applied it into what J-Mass is most well known for, I think, is his Sherlocks. Because he absolutely nails them. And he's got his own unique style. So adapting that classical feel of the Sherlock and then applying his own technique and feel to it is definitely what you look for in an artist, and J-Mass pushes that envelope. And seeing a face like that, like carved onto a Sherlock, just, yeah, that one just says it all. So J-Mass Glass. And up next, so we've got a guy right here, non-functional. He only makes galaxy tech. And there's a few guys in the industry that do the galaxies. And this one, to me, really, really stands out that they're not flat. Like a lot of times, like you'll see these planets and these different things, and they'll be layered flat. And so the fact that he can get these round planets inside of these marbles really, really starts to perplex me in the best way possible. Like I start to get confused, and that's one of the magics of glass, is not knowing how something is done and wanting to know, and maybe being lucky enough to find out how they do it. But just to see that perfect planet encased inside of the marble, backed with all of the silver and gold, and then with the dichro next to the opal. I mean, it's got so much going for it, and it's so cool to have a centerpiece like that sitting on a table or on your desk would be absolutely legendary. And this guy, this one looks about maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches. He makes 4 inches, 5 inches. I mean, he makes massive pocket galaxies is what he actually calls these. So big fan of this guy, Eric Mort, if I didn't mention his name already. And I should be popping up the Instagrams down below. Big fan of him for a long time. So I know he doesn't collab with any like smoke kind of Boro, Heady Glass, anything like that. He just kind of sticks to his own craft. I know he goes to lots of craft fairs, and so he just sticks to his marbles, which is super, super cool. But I think it's worth a look, within the Heady Glass community, because these are, super, super cool. Alrighty, moving on. And up next, we've got Hefe Glass. So somebody who is actually in the YouTube community, he has started posting here lately, and I have been really enjoying his videos, assembling different recyclers and different things, and just providing that insight that I enjoy and that I thrive for on YouTube. So if you don't know this guy, definitely look him up. Follow him on Instagram. Follow him on YouTube. Hefe Glass, because he pulls out the heat with the fuming, and nothing short here with a fumed vial. I've never even seen a worked dripper. So that is one of the reasons I clipped this. His fume work is amazing. He makes these cubes. He makes so many different things, and he fumes it all. And that's his thing. He'll fume anything, and so he doesn't stick to like one object, but he fumes everything. So that's his tech, and I've never seen it be applied in a dripper before. So something like that is super fucking cool to see. And the fact that he's on YouTube, and you guys can go look him up right now, Hefe Glass, super, super legendary, so definitely be keeping an eye out for him. Up next, we have got, let me zoom out here. Keeping up with the fume techniques, we've got Phase Glass. This guy has moved from pendants to rigs, and he absolutely kills it. Gets the perfect light for all of these pictures, and as you can see, that's a perfect little travel jammer right there. A little travel tube with a worked tube at the top, and then it's got a fumed bottom piece plug at the bottom, and then the fumed marble on the side. So yeah, he's just popping off with the fume work as well. That almost looks like a transparent orange to me, so it could be a OJ. But I'm not. Once again, we're back on the oranges, which I haven't used a lot, so I'm unfamiliar with that color. But I'm definitely liking the way it looks in the light, and like the way the lip wrap up the top looks, it definitely has that transparent feel. So it just definitely hits into that orange palette very, very well with the fume work. Definitely like that. Keeping it fingerprint free with the gloves, and yeah, just getting up close to that marble attachment. You can almost see the silver blue kind of glowing around into that gold backing. It's just like super, super beautiful. I love fume a whole bunch. So Phase Glass right here, guys. And up next on today's episode, we've got J Smart. I would say one of the best cartoon, pop art glass blowers, because there's not one, cartoon that I don't think this guy can't create. There's some really legendary pop art glass blowers. Saiyan Glass would be another one that comes to mind. There are quite a few, but J Smart, he executes so well and on a consistent basis, and at that gallery feel and level. So Nothing can be understated from anything from J Smart, and just the total attitude and detail to this mouse, and the shifting between the two CFL colors, super next level for me. I just felt it was worth a clip, and just having the Photoshop and everything, like I said, that whole gallery feel, and just putting in that extra effort to let people know that that is some serious artwork right there. So if you don't know, now you know. J Smart, guys. And up next, another Texas heater. I don't even have to say anything. Hopefully everybody knows Salt Glass, and he has pulled out another legendary. Like, when you look at some of his pieces, they really just invoke these feelings. Like, you see these creatures, and it's in forms that you've never really seen before. Like, you can't say, oh, I've seen this creature here, I've seen it there, maybe in your dreams, but nothing is really copied, or it's all unique. It's all straight inspiration. And that whole exoskeleton, dragon, alligator, monster, gargoyle, I don't even know. It's like the rib cage on the front, and then the whole mullet of like almost like an octopus or something on the back is like so next level. And this, playing the game of what color is this, I actually don't know. I know Salt uses a lot of Glass Alchemy colors, but that one, maybe a peacock color. I'm just really not too sure. Like, sometimes I know right away, and then sometimes it's more fun to guess, and he makes his own color, mixes his own colors sometimes. And I know he's got a signature olive color. I don't know what it's called, but I know in another episode I will reference it. And yeah, just this salt piece is next level. Can't handle the heat. And just the tongue, the attitude, the nose, the snarl. So cool. And up next, we're moving into the last couple pieces for the episode. And this one right here is like an Implosion stippling style. And this is from the artist called J.H. Glass. I believe that's like his initials. And he's always with the outdoor themes. He definitely executes them very well. Like, I've seen a camping one, just mountains, just rivers, all the nature themes, right? And just the attention to detail and how long it takes to lay down each individual dot can't be understated. Like, sculptural stuff you can do inspirationally somewhat quicker, one or two sculptural things, and you've achieved it. Here, you've got to lay down 1,500 dots. I don't know, how many dots that would take to make that piece. And you're going to see in a couple other pieces what I'm talking about layering. But just a single layer of just one round of dots on one bubble is massive. Like, and that can't be understated. So yeah, just that grizzly bear with the sunset and the mountains in the background, and just the way it's achieved and it's translated, and you instantly know what it is when you're looking at it. Amazing artwork. Whoever owns that piece got a real gem on your hands. J.H. Glass. And up next, so this one, guys, we're getting into the final heaters, and this one is like, I almost have a loss for words for it. Big fan of Japanese artists. This guy, I don't want to mess up his name. Miyake is his last name, and I'm going to put his Instagram on the page as well so you can follow him. This one is layered on layered on layered, and the amount of dots that are put on and how small and precise they are is like just something that belongs in a museum. It's like something that you can't replicate, you can't copy. I mean, you can make more. This guy makes these, but it's like just that singular marble, how many layers and pieces and time it probably took to make that piece. I couldn't imagine. And I couldn't imagine the price tag either. To own an absolute gem, an absolute one of one. I mean, that can't be understated. Having something that isn't copied, that isn't owned or replicated. This would be a very, very good example of a one of one. I know I have another video of it right here, another picture. Just, I mean, look at just how hard that hits with layer on layer on layer. And yeah, I can't believe, things like this get made and I get to see it, because if I didn't know something like this existed, I wouldn't have the inspiration to know that the abilities are out there. And to just see things that almost break my mold for what is possible with glass is what really excites me on a daily. And I hope stuff like this definitely interests you guys. I think I might have one more after this. Okay, alrighty. So we've got Z Shore Glass right here, finishing up for last person of the episode, and the detail on this guy's work is so tight. It's so compacted and detailed and on point. I mean, the pointillism is on point because those are dots. Like, you almost can't tell in this image, and I really like this one because you had multiple pieces next to each other. So it almost looks like a drawing or, some type of just printed image. That's dots imploded into a smaller section of glass. So once again, I couldn't imagine how long it would take to make a piece like this. I know it takes weeks. It takes more than one session. So to see dedication and just the follow through and the execution and just the forethought to make a piece like that is inspiring to me. And it just hits all the vibes, and just like the little details, even in the bail, the way it like looks separated with the color in between. I like that hidden touch for me, just that extra detail added. And yeah, these just can't be understated how tight that dot work is. So yeah, Z Shore Glass. Alrighty, guys, I believe we're gonna wrap that for this week's episode. I really, really appreciate you guys joining me and listening to me talk. It's something that I'm really passionate about, and I'm excited to start sharing with you guys on a weekly basis. Yeah, and like I said, any artist that you want to see me cover, drop it down in the comments. We're going to be definitely pushing these weekly, and I'm looking forward to growing these as a channel, as a community, and just putting, all the inspiration I can and all the effort I can into these videos. And hopefully they translate well to you guys. And I think I'm just going to leave you guys with my slogan. Remember, never stop evolving.